All right. This episode, we talk about all the things that we think are going to happen, and we're always wrong, but at least one of us is closer than the others. So somebody, I guess, is technically right. We're hopefully going to be able to see Tyler still awake, um, catch the full episode to see if he lasts the whole way. I mean, that's something his wife has said. Um, and then please come to the party this Saturday. And then, Dad, please say something.
Yes, join us at the break this Saturday. RSL kicks off the MLS season against Vancouver in Vancouver. Join us at the break in Murray, 4760 South 9th East, and see how long we keep Tyler up before he falls asleep on this episode. All right, it's another episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. I don't know if it's our favorite, but it's one we look forward to every year because that means the season is starting. It's our prediction episode. I am your host, Brandt Goebel, joined by Tyler and Brennan. We're all over the place this week, but we are here live on tape, in video, however you want to put it, ready to get going with our predictions. But before we get there, we need to ask you to do us a favor and hit that subscribe button wherever you get your podcasts. Go to YouTube, click on that subscribe button for us. That would be awesome. If you get your podcast anywhere else, like and leave a comment. We always look forward to those. We appreciate those very, very much.
Especially
And
Brennan. He
he
loves them.
does, yeah.
I love him.
And we want to see you this Saturday. Where at?
The break.
In Murray, 4760 South 900 East in Murray. We're upstairs. They're excited to have us. We want to get many people as possible to come join us, win some prizes, and one lucky RSL fan that is not me, Tyler, or Brennan will be going home with a brand new RSL Switchback kit. We're
Very
going to
cool.
give one away, and we're going to have some other predictions and test your prognostications, and maybe you can win stuff throughout the season. Should be fun.
Yeah,
And
if you're wondering how the jerseys fit, I did go in on the first day like a super nerd and bought the jersey. Just to give everybody the experience of knowing what that might look like or sound like. They did not have the letters ready. If you're on video, you can see I've got my random fan going on. There you go. There's the full uh back. And the letters are gold, which is cool. They're not the bright yellow, which kind of hurt my eyes, to be honest. But it's more of the gold, and then the sleeves are pretty gold as well. Anyway, it's a beautiful kit. There's some like stars in the logo. There's a lot of details you don't pick up just seeing it online. So go check it out at the store. It's pretty amazing. I know people are balking at the price. I know it took me a big hard swallow to make sure I could be sure I could afford it. But
out of curiosity, I have not been to the store. I don't know the price. Tell us the price minus the numbers and stuff because that always adds to it. If you just want to
yeah,
get the kit and you don't want to put name on the back of your shirt,
Yeah,
what
someone's not
is
coming up with her. Yeah.
as a season ticket holder, it's 155. So yeah, pricey.
that's yeah, that's not too bad, I
But
guess.
it's the authentic kit, not the replica. The replica's cheaper.
Yeah.
So
So if
Give
you
me
don't
the
want to
replicas,
spend
baby.
$155, come and win it at the break as we watch RSL defeat Vancouver 7-1. That was my prediction, and I'm sticking with it. It's gonna be a bloodshed. There could be, yeah, it's gonna be bad. So let's get to our prediction episode. We got some questions. Let's start with
no, just to be clear, someone out of the three of us always wins the category. Okay, we could be way off, but we're still the closest out of the three of us. So there's always a winner, even if we're all losers. So just putting that out there.
And I think Tyler just brings that up because I think he did the best last year. I could be wrong.
I just won the most categories, that's all.
And
He's the
yeah,
best of the worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, noted. So noted. But first, let's get to a couple of questions about the preseason. Maybe a grade for the RSL postseason. As we move into the season, how are you feeling? How would you describe? Maybe let's go with this. Give me a grade from A to F on the RSL postseason. How would you how would you say it went? What would you give the grade for the players and just the whole off season? And break it down however you want. Let's start with Tyler.
So many things. We lost both Brians, so we're Brianless at this time. It feels weird to be Brianless after having three. Those are the two biggest losses. Can we be okay without Vera and Ojeda? That's my two biggest questions. Everybody else that left, kind of, yeah, it was probably time. Those two wasn't great, and I get why both of them had to leave, especially Vera. But Ojeda, man, didn't love that. Did not love that. I think Ojeda represented a lot of what we love in Utah sports. Hustle, grit, determination. Didn't talk. Just let his game do the talking. Was kind of the enforcer on our team. But with the signings, maybe the signings are better than that. Maybe this Finn Sterling's guy is, if I can't say his name right, can really step in and do an amazing job. From what I hear, he's a really good holding midfielder. He's great distribution. He's older, so maybe he's more of a leader, and maybe that's the leadership that our team possibly is lacking. That's what I'm hoping for from him. Um, and those are my top three. There you go. Brennan, what about you?
What was your grade? A to F
Oh, grade? I have no idea. I
on the
mean,
on the on the preseason.
oh,
How would
from
you?
preseason? Well,
Yeah, not the whole
Sterling's
season.
didn't play, so,
No,
but,
not the players, the team. How
oh,
would you rank RSL's preseason,
oh, I
postseason,
thought you said
preseason?
off season. I'm sorry. So
Yeah, all
preseason.
not the games, just in general for
Uh,
the club.
He sent you the Google sheet, Tyler. It
B.
says it in the Google sheet. If you pull up the Google sheet, here, I'll do it with you. We go right here. Prediction episode.
Uh,
Very first line. Grade for the preseason A to F.
my bad.
No worries. It's okay.
But you're going with a B. Is that what you're saying? All the moves, everything that happened, the new players. How would you grade your club?
Well, we got Lucas Engel in, and he is a left back, and I think he's gonna lock down that left side, and he's gonna be great. So I think that's great. All the other guys that signed, they all signed so late that we didn't really get them in. So I don't know how they're all gonna work out. But if we can keep Olatunji, Gozo, Luna, and Morgan, Hoagie up top, I think we're gonna have a really good team. And then once you slap in Sanabria on the left, wow, he's going to be whipping some balls in with pace. Brennan's going to be so happy because those balls are going to be whipped in with pace, just
I
like he
love when
loves.
Bobs are whipped in. That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's your favorite.
So what letter are you gonna give the preseason?
B.
Oh, it's a B for sure. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, what about you, Brennan?
Okay. I would say the preseason, once again, has not given us any indication of how well we are going to do for the main season. You brought up the fact that they got in players late that didn't get to participate in the preseason. Um, the parts that I did watch in the preseason, if the pieces were more stout, I think it would be very exciting. Um, not knowing what they are going to do as far as tactic wise and all that fun stuff, and kind of just being a fan in the seats, you're kind of you're kind of watching a movie with only like a 3 second preview. We're not really getting any sort of storyline or anything like that. Um, I would honestly, I would say C minus. And the reason I would say C minus is it's still passing and it could turn into an A because that preseason could have set us up to whatever we needed to do during the main season. But with the pieces that we brought in, I'm excited, but also not that excited. It's one of those things where they're bringing in a player that I'm not really, I don't see them just being this standout in the league. And it was kind of like when Diogo got brought in. When Diogo got brought in, he was supposedly a Champions League player. He was talented, he was incredible. And so it was like, sweet, we got Chicho and all this great stuff. But now I feel like it's another random draw of it could be something or it could be another wash again. So I think a C minus just because it honestly could go either way. I'm not really too like confident it's going to be this amazing thing, or I'm not too confident that it's going to be terrible. I'm kind of right in the middle there.
Yeah, I'm kind of right there with you. So between B and C minus, a lot for the same reason. I'd probably go B minus, C plus, a lot for the same reasons you are. They're going because they bring in a Chicho-esque player. It's an A, it's a B plus, A minus, A. But you're absolutely right that we don't know who these players are. Guy Lavogie, in when he was with St. Pauli, had a great season, had some great stats, and they like him. But his current club, they're like, have a good one. See you later. So, did we spend the offseason looking for diamonds in the rough, trying to get the best deal? On some players, maybe that's the case. Kind of hoping for these players to pan out. But on the other side, you got Arias and Sanabria, which are supposed to be some top class talent. So, yeah, I would probably be maybe not surprisingly not as pessimistic as I usually am. That's why I think it's C. I'll stick with this C plus, C plus, C plus point B minus whatever, C plus. So because I think the same thing you are, same place you are is like, yeah, who are they? And with all of the stuff that's going on, willing to take a look at the end in a few weeks, in a month or two, and say, hey, you know what? We can reevaluate the postseason and see how it worked out. Maybe we can up their grade. They get extra credit for doing well, and then we can regrade them. But yeah, I think they're all pretty. Between B and C minus is probably a good spread.
Sounds good. So since I already answered the next question, I'm going to ask you guys, which player lost from last season will be the hardest to replace? Brandt, we'll start with you.
I think
I,
there's
I love it when you take charge, man. This is so nice. You know what I mean? Because then
Good
everything is
stuff.
in order. You just said this is great. Keep going.
I'm going to go with Ojeda. I think that is the biggest hole to fill. I don't. We'll see if Spirings or whoever they want to play there can do it. We lost quite a bit of effort and talent, and just Ojeda was a guy that was on all the time. He played. He played the game 90 minutes. You could count on him to hustle back on defense. You could count on him to stick in a tackle. Maybe not some Vera-esque, but he was there to be whatever enforcer we did have in the middle there. I think it's for me, it's a no-brainer. I'm not too losing all the Bryans is difficult. I was not honestly sad to see Brian Vera go. I I've been a broken record on the fact that that pair, center back pair, Vera and Glad, was good, but it's not where it needs to be. And wish him well, and we'll see how it all plays out. But I'm going with Ojeda. What about you, Brennan?
I'm gonna say Justin Miram. I think
Again?
that was probably
3 years in a row?
You're looking at the wrong sheets.
yeah, sorry, that was 2023 or whatever. Um, yeah, I guess I would have to say Ojeda. Just like you were saying, he was the most consistent each game. And you saw how great he could be when he had the confidence to take the shot. When we played the Liga MX, it was like, oh, sweet. Like this guy can ball. Like when he gets inspired, he's a threat. And I felt like he kept building off of that confidence. And everyone else in that pair position of the pivot, they all kind of had ebbs and flows that were way too low, too high, like not enough consistency. So it was like Ojeda was the constant. It was like the Kyle Beckerman. That always showed up. It was nice. Um, I do feel like though that Johnny Russell was one that I would probably want to have around still. Um, I felt that he brought the things off the field that a lot of the players didn't have. Like how he handled pressure or how he had handled expectations with that demeanor of like, yeah, I got this, man. No big. You know what I mean? Like he kind of made things less dramatic and it worked out. And you could tell like people around him, like in practice or stuff like that, he like brought an ease. And I don't know if anybody else can do that. I want that aura. I guess I talked about last time. I like
Nice.
Josh's aura.
I love that.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see how that works because that was one of the things they brought in. Yedlin, Engel's an older guy, Spirings is an older guy.
Yeah.
So they made an effort to bring in some people that could maybe fill that void. But if they can't play well on the pitch, I mean, if they're just going to be on the bench, we'll never know. But I think
Well,
that
yeah,
effort was made.
the tent pole players is what Jason Christ always talked about.
Tent
Mhm.
poles.
Tent pole players.
Speaking of
I
tent
mean,
poles, how was the camping this weekend, Brennan? Was that good? Did you have your tent poles up and you
it was wonderful.
yeah?
I loved it so much, man. Oh my gosh. It was like 34 degrees almost the entire time until the sun hit you. But dude, it was so fun hanging out with Cam and my son.
Cold weather camping. Good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Tent
Yeah.
poles everywhere,
Campfire and like great scenery. I mean, that's such a good reset.
right?
Utah's great for that. I
Beautiful.
saw a lot of switchbacks. If you want to
Ooh.
segue that in there, a lot of switchbacks,
Right?
like none of these are claret and cobalt. But whatever.
Maybe the sunset got close to that.
Yeah, it was pretty close. Yeah, a little bit prettier, but
All right. So now that RSL's finished 2025, 12 wins, 5 draws, 17 losses. Which one of those is going to be further away from what it was last year? So we're going to have s- fewer than 17 losses, like maybe it's 5 away from that. Maybe we have 10 draws. Maybe we have 24 wins. Who knows? So which one is going to be further away? 12 wins, 5 draws, or 17
ooh,
losses?
let me answer this one. Let me answer this one first. So now that we are becoming a team that supposed to thrive or use transition play now instead of what we used to, which was pretend it didn't exist like an ugly stepdaughter. You just don't want it there. But I think if we start to play with transition more, we are going to have less draws. And I think if everything goes well, we'll be in the positive as far as win loss. I hope we're at like maybe 16, 17 wins, 4 draws. The
Okay,
rest
Brent, how
lost.
about you?
I
He's,
think
he's going with wins.
he's going with wins. This is an interesting one because I don't know that I'm confident the RSL has improved. Maybe the players are improved, but I don't know that Pablo is the guy, we had the coaching changes. Is he the guy that's going to be able to lead this team to a better season? And I think I'm going to go with draws. I think there are going to be more draws than wins and losses, but I don't know what the wins and losses are going to look like. We could have more losses and more draws and fewer wins, but I think the draws there's going to be more draws. I could see us with 7 or 8, maybe 9 ties, and and that will either take one or the other. Hopefully, the losses will come down as the draws go up, so we're more competitive in the games, so that we turn some losses into draws. So I'm going to go with more draws.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to go with as well. It just seems like it was a lowest draw total since the Jason Christ days when he would say, go for it. When it was draw time, he would go in and throw 45 guys in the box. Okay, there's only 11, I know. Anyway, so I'm going to go with draws as well. All right, so next question. RSL finished with 38 goals for and 49 goals against. That, for those of you keeping score and good at math, is minus 11. My favorite di differentiator of how good the team really is how many goals we score versus how many we give up. So, better or worse goal differential next year, Brandt, minus 11.
Ooh, um, this is a tough one because I think they might score more goals. But in the preseason, we saw that they gave up a lot of goals.
I'm
Even though
scared of it.
even though that the focus was on defense, and usually the defense gels first on a club as they get into the season, and they gave up a lot of goals, and Pablo mentioned that multiple times. So I think the goal differential has to come down. Um, so I'm going to say I think it's going to come down.
Brennan?
Um, I think it's probably going to stay the same. Like, I'm really scared that, committing to this three-man back line is not going to really be too fruitful or stop a lot. Because preseason wise, we had a good idea, but it's always about those moments, that Pablo always talks about. And in sports, it's usually 2 to 3 minutes. After a hard-working 30 minutes, there's this 2 or 3 minute window where your mind just mentally goes into a different state, and then you have to fight to get it back. And last year we got so many hiccups with that kind of a thing. And I think now that we only have three in the back, we're gonna learn our lesson real quick. So I think if we can get the same, that would be great. Same
Yeah.
differential.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with a dramatically improved goals against differential. We might get scored on a little bit more, but we're gonna score a lot more. So I'm gonna say I don't know, -5. If we get any worse than -5, I start losing hope. I start spending too much time mowing my grass and checking out and just sitting in the hot tub, pondering the meaning of life and why we can't score goals. So hopefully, I don't want to go to that dark place. I want to go to a place of happiness.
So it's interesting that would any of us predict them having a positive goal differential
That's
this
I was
year?
literally just about to say. I was like, what are the odds that they would actually be a positive differential? Like, do you think that
I
can
would
happen
love
this year?
that.
Well, I know you'd love it, but do you think that it's actually attainable this year
I
with the
think
people?
0 is attainable. We hung out for long stretches there. And then when we had the LAFC games, that was like -7 or 8 between the two games. And that just sunk our differential. And we didn't even care about it after that. But yeah, that was a rough end of the season last year. The fact that we even made the playoffs, I say in air quotes. Mm,
Yeah, 38 goal. I think they can score more goals. Will be, you know, but it's tough to go to watch what they did last year and really struggle. I mean, I could see them going, something like 45, 45, 45 goals scored, 45 goals given up. I think I'd like to see them give up less goals, although the 49 goals wasn't incredibly bad,
No.
right? I mean, I think the previous year they only gave up a few more goals than they did in 24, if I remember right. But they dramatically, they had 65 goals, and so it looked a lot better because they were scoring so many goals. 38 goals is very anemic. That's barely a goal a game, right? A 34 game. So yeah, I think it wouldn't be hard to score more goals, and if they don't, I mean, if that they only get 45 goals, as I think about it, that would be kind of disappointing. I think they need to get closer to get up there in the 50 area. So
Okay. We're down to points now. Points. More points than 41 from last year. We only got 41 points last year. We backed into the playoffs, lost the play-in game. 41 or more. Brent.
we going plus or minus.
Yeah.
Hmm. This is an interesting one because I know a lot of the experts. I think there was a podcast with Bogert, and they were going over under 39.5 points for RSL, and every single one of them on the podcast went under. So there is a lot of the experts are not predicting RSL to have a great season. If you look at the Major League Soccer predictions, uh, the aggregate of the 8, 10, 11, 12 people they talked about, RSL finishes in 11th according to the experts. So I'm going to go I'm going to go over 41 points. But like I said, maybe I'm going to go 41 over 41 but just barely.
Brennan.
48 is speaking to me for some reason. I have 48 on my mind when I think about it. Um, I think that since we're going to be more risky, we're going to transition more. I think we're going to lead to more goals, means we can have more errors and still win. So I think we're going to increase the 48 points and get into seventh in the playoffs because the West is going to be very stout this season.
Nice. Yeah, I think we end up with more than 41 points, but you know, not a ton of faith until we start to see some results. I think that'll be helpful, especially because we play a lot of really good teams to start the season. Don't give up if we're 3 or 4 games in and don't have a win. So, and we might win the first game. Just take the pressure right off. Beat Vancouver in Vancouver. You never know.
Seven
But
to one, 7-1. You heard it here.
yeah, I'm thinking we end up with just over 41 points. So,
Okay, you owe me garlic fries if they get 7-1 or they don't get 7-1.
Okay, yeah, it's a deal. And
Perfect.
you owe me a Coke.
A Coke?
Yeah.
Diet Coke?
If no, Diet Coke is gross.
fair point.
If RSL wins 7-1, yeah, you owe me a Coke.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, who's taking over the questions now?
Let me step in here because I prepared for this. My dad wrote, "Will Justin Glad reach his 5 goal this year?"
He said
Uh,
he was gonna thinking about bringing that back, and I thought, let's talk about it.
dude, okay, before we talk about this, well, actually, I want to talk about it first. Um, I just want his old man dance to come back. I want the old man dance. I don't know why he got rid of it. He's had 2 opportunities last season to do it. He had a wonderful header that kept
In
us
the
in the game
playoffs.
in the
Yeah,
playoffs. That should have been popped out immediately. Should have been in there doing his little bobblehead dance.
flopping his
Haven't
wings.
seen it.
Yeah.
So my goal is to get him to do that when he scores this year. Otherwise, he needs to give everybody their money back for those bobbleheads that they bought.
Yeah, for me, I'm a little worried because we don't look that great in the air. I don't know what Sterling's is all about, but with Glad,
Olatunji?
Angle, Olatunji. He gets on the end of balls, so maybe we start scoring a few more headers on set pieces. Is Luna taking them now? I don't know. Is it Ruiz? Who's in there? Who's serving the ball in? Who's driving that ball? Is it Sanabria? Like I think we got some work to do, but I think we could easily get our center back to five,
I agree.
right?
I don't know that he gets five, but I would be very excited if Justin Glad picked up 2 or 3 goals this season. I think that was sorely lacking any kind of presence in the box last year. And with the players they brought in, especially the ones that if they're going to be whipping in some balls into that box there, then there should be more opportunities for it. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't pick up some goals. But I don't know if he's going to get to five. But that is a great goal, and if he does, we'll be very proud of him. Very, very proud of him.
So proud of our boy.
So proud. Because he's a homegrown. He's from here. No, he's not from here,
He's
but he's
from
a
Casa
homegrown.
Grande. Just kidding. But he's the last guy that made the team anyway.
All right.
Next
So
up, is that you, Brent?
I'll ask this one. This one is I find this one interesting. And that is, will Diego Luna make the World Cup team? I don't know that no one is a lock except for maybe Pulisic and some of those guys. But will Diego Luna make the team? And is it a question? Should we even be asking it? What are your guys' thoughts?
I say he does. I think he's an inspiration to getting his nose knocked out. That doesn't go away overnight, right? And he's like put in the gauze, He's acting like Rocky Balboa out there, bro. Like just cut it, if you're old enough to know that reference. But he put me back in, coach. He goes back in, makes a sweet assist. Like he plays for with his whole heart. And if we can get him playing that way for RSL this year and coordinating well with the rest of the team, I think we're going to be a lot better. But I want to see Diego on fire, just playing his guts out. And then I think he makes it. How about you, Brennan?
Um, I don't know, man. Like one of my buddies sent me over the French starting lineup, and you look at it and you're what is the point of participating? You look at it and you're like, well,
You're
dude,
like, man, I'm glad we're not
the,
playing France in the
the
World Cup.
top the top looks strong, the bottom looks strong, the middle looks great, and then you're just like, where okay.
In fact, half 5 or 6 guys that get left off that team would play for us.
Oh no, they wouldn't play for us. They would still play in like bigger leagues than MLS. Okay.
No, I mean,
And they
I
do.
mean for the United States, they
Oh
would
yeah,
be
dude.
in the games.
Oh, dude. And so, and I
Uh,
was like looking at that, and I was like, okay, maybe it was because I've been looking like with blinders on for MLS. Like I've been looking through the MLS lens so much where I thought, I'm like, MLS, I mean, a US team doesn't have a bad team this year. Like it's not bad. But if you look at it in the scale that it's going to be played at, I don't know if Luna is going to have the success, but also I don't know who's the opposite of him. Like who is the other person in that position that they start, you know? Like I don't even know who it is. Who's another 10?
well, they kind of play him in like a wing-ish, a tucked
Like a
in wing,
like a
kind
second
of
10 or something like that.
yeah, yeah. And so he gets in with the brothers, the one
Aaronson's.
guy at LAFC. What is it?
Aaronson's.
Oh no, I wasn't thinking the Aronson brothers, but they're both pretty good. Paxton won't make the World Cup team, but Brennan will. But I was talking about the one guy from LAFC and his brother that plays for PSV.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. Those
Yeah.
guys are those guys are better than Luna right now. I think both of them are, but maybe because they're brothers, they won't both make the team. I don't know. It's tough. It's tough when it comes to that. There's a lot of, but what Diego does provide, a workmanlike attitude. Sorry, I'm jumping in when you were answering the question. I think he brings it. I think he gets it. What do you think?
No, I think you bring up a good point. I think the fact that it's not necessarily how talented they are or, like, okay, he's the best player. There's something to be said about what his presence does on the field, not necessarily just his skill set. And so, yeah, they want a fighter. I think Pochettino is going to say, hey, I'm going to have some use for him against certain teams and whatnot. But I don't know if he's the outright starting 11 player.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
I don't think anyone is expecting Diego Luna to make the team to start.
Yeah.
My my thoughts on this question, to bring it up. No offense to Diego, awesome young man, doing great things. But sometimes, there's just some players that last player cut, right? Like when they left off, didn't they leave off Landon one? He was getting up in age and they left him off. And I thought of, a Utah or BYU player in the women's, Ashley Hatch, who got left off on the bubble there. And my thought for Diego Luna is I really, for his sake, I really hope he makes the team.
Mhm.
I think it's important that he makes the team, whether or not he plays or he gets any minutes. I think it's more important that he makes the team than anything else after that. Would love to have him have a great World Cup and get in and make a difference and support the team. But I think it's more important that he makes the team, and that's the part that concerns me. I want him to make the team because I think it is that important for him. I would hate for him not to make the team and the pressure that comes with for not making the team. It might make him mad and he plays even better. But for him personally, I would love to see him make the team. I think it's important that he does. Does that make
Well said.
sense?
No, no, no. Well said. That's very true.
Cool. My turn to ask the question again.
Yeah, I
What's
just wondered if there's any other questions about players that you guys have thought about before we jump in. Not to, we kind of put a spotlight on Justin and Diego, but we are getting to other predictions. But if,
Oh, well, mine one is Cabral going to
oh,
sustain the same level? Is he going to surpass his previous season or is he going to do less? What do you guys think? Like, is he going to maintain, improve, or do a little less?
It's hard to say because he kind of had all-star numbers last year, kept us in a few games with some really good saves. Um, I hope he stays at that level. That would be my hope. But you know, a lot of times it's hard to maintain that high energy, that high level, like you were saying. But I think he's found a way to do it. So I have faith in him. I believe in him.
So you think he's going to do better, the same, or worse?
Same.
Same. What about you, Brandt?
I don't know how he can do worse. Or, yeah, I don't know how he can do better. Let's say it that way. Because he had a stellar season. And I don't know that RSL should count on him to be the difference in whether or not they win games. Because I think he led the team in positive play, right? His play, his efforts were he stopped more goals than he gave up, not only on, the shots and stuff, but he played over his head. He played standing on his head, and that really benefited the team. I don't know that you can count on that for him to have that kind of impact. He might not give up as many goals, or he might give up the same amount of goals, but it's the rest of the team needs to play better because you can't count on him to make those stops like he did last season that had so much effect on the outcome of games, right? You understand what I'm saying?
No,
Am I
I
making
understand.
sense?
But you guys definitely didn't answer my question. You're just trying to find a way to not answer it. So let me rephrase it here. Do you think that the defensive line is going to allow Cabral to have a better season, the same, or worse?
Same.
Same. So you think the defense is going to make him still have to kind of stand on his head and he'll be doing great things still?
Yep.
Perfect. Brandt, do you think the
I
defense
think
line is going to make it better?
I think the defensive line is going to be better.
So it's going to make him better, or is it just going to be better?
I think it's going to be better, and he's going to have a great season.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay. Now we're down to surprise player of the year. This is by definition someone who has almost no expectations of playing, all of a sudden gets their opportunity, does well, even if it's just in spot duty, but comes kind of out of nowhere and is able to contribute. That's kind of the criteria we agreed on for surprise player. So,
Hmm.
Brennan, do you have one ready or should we start with Brent?
Um, I'm gonna say Van Parker. I feel that Van Parker is going to get an opportunity. Um, Probably not at the beginning, but before World Cup. He's going to get an opportunity. We're going to see a flash of brilliance. And then after the World Cup, we're going to give him more minutes. And he's going to be not as great as Gozo, but close.
Wow.
Mhm.
Dang, high praise for the Canadian. How about you, Brent?
I was looking at this and I thought, man, I think last year I went with Kobe Henry. Maybe I went with him with Defensive Player of the Year.
Do it
Um,
again.
I was thinking about the surprise Player of the Year. Let's see. Who This is kind of tough because there's some new players that they've signed, and we've got some other players that have been around. Man, this is tough. I wrote the question, and
You don't have an
now
answer?
No,
I
we wrote the
am
question. We wrote the question.
struggling. I could steal Tyler's, but I won't.
No, I don't
Uh,
have one. I
um,
have two.
the one that popped in my head that I was thinking is Aiden Hezarkani. Pablo had some great the first few preseason games. I'm gonna go with Aiden Hezarkani because he's been mentioned and they expect him to get some starter minutes at some point. And we've always had a young player the last few seasons from Anelli and even Brody and Caliscan. So I'm gonna go with Hezarkani.
Yeah, Hazard County can get by people. He's got that quick foot, quick touch. He's not super blazing fast, but he's fast, and he's definitely quick, like how Messi's quick, but he's not blow away fast. People can run him down, but people can't hang with him because he changes direction too quickly, right? And I'm gonna go with Sergey Solans. I think Sergey is just gonna in spot duty contribute to the team. He's gonna be that guy that comes off the bench here and there, knocks a goal in, and we're gonna be like, wait, who's that guy again? How do we get that guy again? We drafted him, and he's from Spain, so interesting combination. But yeah, that's my pick is the Spaniard Sergey Solans.
I like that one. All right. So now let's do who is the unsung hero of 2026?
I've got one for that. I'll go first. I'll jump in and I'm gonna go Kobe Henry. I'm I thought about it while I was trying to bring it up, and I think that there's a player that's struggled with injuries last year. I think they didn't release it, but I spoke with him after one of the preseason practices this year, and they didn't. I don't think they sent it out. Um, but yeah, I think he's got his head on his shoulders. He talked about how last year he tried to come back too soon and didn't really follow what he kind of overdid it, right? And now his mind is like, he just wants to play the minutes he's given, not going to overdo it, not going to underdo it. So I think Kobe Henry could be one of those players that could be an unsung hero that could come in maybe with an injury or when it's needed and make a difference for the club. And he's a guy that wants to do that. So I'm going to go with Kobe Henry.
Awesome. How about you, Brennan?
Um, I think my unsung hero might be Katranis. I think he's going to do a lot for us um, transitionally. He's great defensively and he plays so high. Um, I think he's going to be one of those guys who's going to put in a lot of work and he's going to be one pass away from the highlight reel. He's that pass to the one pass that gets on the highlight reel. Um, so I think that's the dude that probably won't get enough praise this year.
Yeah, especially with Sanabria. I think that's the guy a lot of people are penciling in at his position.
Yeah.
So that could be a great opportunity for Katranis to really dig in and be that unsung hero.
That's
We'll
funny
see.
because that was my pick for the unsung hero was Juan Manuel Sanabria.
Ah.
Yeah, the guy has a really killer work rate, and I just can't wait to see him out there whipping balls into the box. And no dig to Catranis. I think Catranis is going to find his way. But that is a lot of left-footed players. And if you remember, Juanma was he was on that team that I was very, very impressed with San Luis when they came to town. Love their aggressive style of play, the way they got after it. I was even calling for us to go hire their coach and bring him in and implement that system with us. So we did the next best thing. We went and got one of their best players and brought him in. And I really think Juanma is going to contribute at a really high level. But he, like you said, he's going to kind of be that guy that's a glue guy. He's going to keep the team together, keep them hustling, keep them winning balls, and then not necessarily being the guy that plays that dagger pass or makes the tap in or not highlight real stuff, but a lot of really good work. That's my prediction. Even though we took the same kind of spot on the field there, Brennan.
All right. How about 2026 Defensive Player of the Year? Who wants to jump in there? Tyler.
I'm gonna go with the safe bet and my boy, the redhead, the stud of the back line, Mr. Justin Glad.
Mm.
Enough said. I mean, he's been our best defender for years. I think he's going to figure out a way to make this three-man slash five-man backline work. He's going to be the engine that runs it back there and the defensive MVP.
What
What
about
about
you,
you, Brand?
Brennan? Okay.
No, you first.
I was thinking about this and I think Justin Glad is good. But I was
What? Whoa, hold on. No, no, no. Hold on. Okay.
What?
So if
Say that
you've been
again
a
one
fan
more
of this
time.
show, if you've been a fan of this show, you notice that one of the dudes who doesn't have hair doesn't think Mr. Glad is up to snuff. He does, you know what I mean? He's
No, I
paid a
think he's
little
good. I don't think that's fair. I think he's good.
less. Uh-huh.
But I don't know that it's like I talked about last year. Glad and no one was counting the All-Star votes to see if Glad and Vera were even close. I mean, they're not even in the conversation when it comes to All-Star center backs in Major League Soccer. They're just not. That doesn't mean he's not a good player and he can't be the defensive player of the year. But I was thinking more along the lines, I'm curious to see if it's going to be Engel. They brought him in, Engel or Spirings. If he's going to take Ojeda's place, he needs to. They must have some really high hopes for him. And if you want the back line to be better, that the people in front of them could be a little bit better. And we're not going to have a Nelly for a long time. You can't expect it to be Caliscan. So I'm going to lean towards Spirings. I don't know if that's exactly how they want him to play, but if he's feeling Ojeda's spot, then he better be pretty good at defense and I an all around player. So I think if he can control the ball like they talk about and be a little more possession and be able to distribute right there in that spot, I think he could really make a difference right in front of that back line, that back three. So I'm gonna go with Spirings.
Well, then I'm gonna say Engel. I think he has it. He's done it. He can do it again. If he figures out the system, he stays, you know, at his level that he knows he can be at. I think he's going to be miles ahead of everybody else that's on that back line. I would like to say Yedlin, but I feel like Yedlin has been there, done that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what he is like what are his goals for this season? You know what I mean? Like he's in that space where he's accomplished a lot of things. He's on a good team. He just needs to perform, but it's not like he has to be goal oriented. You know what I mean? It's not like he's trying to get, defensive player of the year. Like is he? I don't know.
Yeah, he could be. He's probably going to start at the right back there
Yeah.
in the back three. But if some of these other players come in, he could end up. They talked about him being in the right wing, moving up a little bit, being right wing. I think he's also 32, and he's kind of at that age where players kind of they go up and up and up, and then they kind of plateau, and then they hit an age, and then they just go like Walker Zimmerman. I think he went to Toronto, and some people were. I think he's a player that he's just going to nobody wants to see that, but sometimes age just catches up. Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, and with them also on that same thing, like they lose a step. But Yedlin's already been a step ahead, so him losing a step just means he's the same speed as everybody else. So hopefully that doesn't happen really quickly. Like you were saying, you drop off like Walker Zimmerman. He looked slow last year, right? But Yedlin didn't, at least to me.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know if um and the obvious one that we kind of didn't talk about was Cabral. I mean, and maybe you don't want your goalkeeper to be your defensive player of the year. I
Agreed.
mean,
Oh.
you want your goalkeeper to have a great season and you never talk about him because the people in front of him keep the ball away from him. So
True.
if Cabral is again your defensive player of the year and your team MVP, then wow,
Rough
we've
year.
rough year.
Sweet. We only got a couple more. Um, all right. Offensive player of the year or offensive player of the year, if you want it to be that way.
Let's hope we don't have a candidate for offensive player of the year. That would be
Yeah.
really bad.
Chicho won it a couple years ago.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I vote Olatunji. Olatunji because that guy is going to be our finisher. Um, I think he's going to be a player that should be marketed as a DP, but he's not. I think he's fabulous.
Awesome. What do you think, Brent?
This is, oh, you know what? Maybe can we change some unsung heroes? Who did I
What?
say? I said Kobe Henry
Caliscan.
for
You said no, you said Caliscan.
no, I did not. I think I said Kobe Henry for unsung hero. And I
Yeah.
was just looking at this, and one of the players I won't change it, but one of the players that could be an unsung hero, I'll stick with my Kobe Henry because that's just, none of these matter. And
You're a man of
nobody,
your word. That's what it is.
yeah. And my favorite part is looking at this at the end of the season and seeing, wow, we weren't even close.
Right.
But but another player that could have been in that category, Dominic Marchuk, who's had a
Oh, yeah.
great preseason. And, it's a toss up. I was kind of rough on Diego Luna, and you want Diego Luna to be your offensive player of the year. And you know what? That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say Diego Luna. I think they're going to give him everything every opportunity to be the player and to have this be his team. And he may not score the most goals. He might not have, I think he'll have a ton of assists, especially with Gila Vogie, who looks like the highlights look like he can be a player that could play off Olatunji, and they could be a really dynamic trio there. The three of those players. So yeah, I'm gonna give it to Diego, which seems like that's not a cop out, but after I was concerned about him not making the World Cup, but I think yeah, I think this season sets up for him to be that person and this be his team.
Cool. I'm gonna go with Xavier Gozo. Oh yeah. I think he is gonna play like his hair's on fire this year. And I think he's playing for a move to Europe. I think he's playing for a move to the Premier League. He's got the body type, he's got the work rate. Hopefully he has the mentality, and we've seen it. We just, I think he just needs to put his finishing boots on, nick himself a goal here and there a little bit more, and pretty soon he'll have all the puns down to make Brennan just, eat his words that he's not the best player in the world. And all of a sudden, Gozo becomes top five player in the world. And we're talking about him with the likes of, just kidding. But it would be cool to see that. No, I really think Gozo is going to have an excellent season. He's going to have, I don't know, 10, 12 goals, something like that. Yeah, that's my prediction for Offensive Player of the Year.
So who
Okay,
do we
okay.
pick? Did you pick Brennan? Who'd you hit? You picked
Olatunji.
Olatunji. Yeah.
Olatunji, and yeah, I think those are good ones. I'm curious to see what they do with Xavier Gozo. If they've brought in some players to kind of put pressure on him, or if he can get the starts, or if they're gonna Nelly him. Who knows what the club will do? Because it'll be interesting because there does seem to be some of these positions RSL is going to be pretty deep, at least on paper.
Yeah,
Mhm.
until we don't have a right back, right? Just like last year.
Yeah. Well, and you look at Katranis, right? He could be buried, and Junka, Katranis, Junka. Where are they going to fit in? They could be buried in the depth chart there with Sanabria and some of those other players, Angle that have come in. So it should be interesting.
Yep, we'll see how it plays out.
All right.
Cool.
Next
MVP.
question. No, Golden Boot.
Oh, Golden Boot.
Yeah, which RSL player is going to have the most goals and win the team Golden Boot? I doubt we'll have a player competing for the Golden Boot for Major League Soccer, but if we did have one, that would be fantastic. Definitely, we need more than 9 goals to be your Golden Boot player. So,
Yeah.
who is going to be the Golden Boot winner for Real Salt Lake? I'll go with
I'm
Justin
sorry.
Glad. No, wait, just kidding.
Olatunji. Okay, good. I beat Brennan to the punch. You can still say it if you want to, but I said it first.
Okay, then I'll say Guy Lavogie.
Okay, good.
That was going to be my choice.
Oh, I
I
thought you
Oh,
were gonna go with Cabral.
Oh yeah, if Cabral, yeah, that means we have our goalkeeper with 2 goals that came up, and RSL has
Okay.
7 goals in the season.
well, let's do this. Tyler says Olatunji. You say Guy Lavogie. I say Noel Caliscan.
What?
Noel is going to have the most goals because he is going to be put in every single position known to man. And
So then he'll also win RSL MVP, right?
it's a given. Golden
and
Boot.
uns and unsung and surprise hero.
And
Nobody's
all of
surprised.
them.
No one's surprised.
Offensive and defensive player of the year. He's gonna win them all.
Yeah, he's going to be the team.
He's going to be that team.
So out of those two, do you think it's? I'll ask Brendan. Besides Caliscan, which should be a given, do you think Olatunji or Guy Lavogie will be the Golden Boot winner, or could it be somebody else? Gozo, Luna.
No, I think watching how Olatunji plays, he's going to be open. He's going to be physical. He's going to be a lot more aerial driven. Like he's going to probably get a lot of headers this coming season off of set pieces. He's going to be very physical. If we get any pass in the box, it's probably with his foot. Um, I do think Guy Lavogie could have a chance of scoring more goals, but GPs for RSL haven't been great. So I don't know I mean, Guy Lavogie is going to have to break the curse. Olatunji just has to do what he did last year. And I think both of them are capable. I think maybe it's a nice little rat race between the two.
Yep. And I love the competition. Hopefully it'll be a real competition.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think, I think if either one of those are not your Golden Boot winner, then I think that's a disappointment for Real Salt Lake. You have to have one of those guys.
For the front office for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Front office, the whole thing. Those two need to be scoring goals.
I mean,
Mhm.
but if Sergey comes in and he starts scoring goals, then and Pablo's like, gotta go with the hot foot, hot hand. I don't know. You know what I mean?
the
The hot foot,
the player with the nose for goal.
right? Just nicking those goals, Brennan.
Nicking those goals.
Nick 'em. You gotta nick 'em all.
Just top bins them up. Anyway, yeah. So if not, then it's a huge disappointment. So, all
Huge.
right, MVP. Who's the
Yeah.
MVP of the podcast? I vote for Brandt.
Oh no. Oh,
Brandt is our podcast MVP.
Oh, is that because that he wrote that, right? I think he wrote that.
Oh yeah, there it's
must
No,
vote for
oh
Brandt.
MVP must
RSL no
vote
RSL's MVP. Oh, not the
for Brent.
podcast MVP. Sorry.
Yeah, I
I
would
could
say Brent.
still be RSL's MVP. I mean, I'll
Okay.
be RSL's unsung hero. How's that?
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, that could be it.
Did you see they're putting in new stands?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the picture of that, and they're going along the um, directionally challenged here,
North
north
End.
end,
Yeah,
along the walkway there. I was like,
yeah.
how? Yeah. Well, I saw that, and I'm like, hmm.
In front of the little Jumbotron, the Minitron. Yeah.
On the north side?
Yeah, like through the middle of the walkway there, that is jam packed with people all the
All the
time.
time.
Especially
That
when
used to
you're
have
leaving.
the Hispanic restaurant, but now it's just drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like way too large for what it is.
Yep.
yeah,
That's weird.
Yeah.
yeah. We'll see how that. I saw that today, and I was like, hmm.
Why don't they do something with the south end where there's all that room and there's terrible walking?
We'll find out. We'll bring that up at the season ticket holder meeting.
That's
Anyway,
what,
a few more
yeah.
questions. We didn't answer the RSL MVP.
We said Brant Goebel.
Yeah.
Oh
I
no.
think we agree on that.
Yeah, I'm
Now
gonna keep.
who is going to be the RSL MVP?
Diego Gonçalves. Oh, sorry. Just thought I'd throw that name out.
Chicho
Rwanda.
Arango.
Oh
This is kind
man.
of an interesting one. Yeah. I mean, how do you come up with an MVP? I guess this there's the obvious in Diego Luna, or Cabral. If Cabral's your MVP again, hmm. So
Yeah, who you got, Brent?
geez, I'm not going to go with Diego. I think it needs to be somebody else, somebody that's going to really, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go with Sanabria. I think he's going to be an impact player, and he's gonna be the guy. Like I don't want to say Diego. I think he can be, and I'm leery of Olatunji. You know what? No, I'm gonna go with Olatunji. I think the guy is going to be the one that they play off of. He's going to score some goals. He's going to set up some goals. He's going to play with his back to goal. I'm going to go with Olatunji.
Okay, Brendan, what do you got?
I'm gonna stick with Brant.
Brent.
Um, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with that. What do you think, Tyler?
I'm gonna go with Gozo again. If he's the offensive player of the year, then hey, he's gonna be the MVP too. Sure.
Right on.
Okay, where are we gonna finish in the West? How many spots?
I think I said seventh in one of my rants.
You did.
Yeah.
I heard a seven.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think it was 48 points and seventh place.
Oh wow.
Yeah, whatever 48 points gets us. That's what I have a strong feeling about. Not really the position so
I'm
much.
gonna go with sixth.
Ooh.
I don't think
I,
we finished that high. So we
I
got
feel
sixth and
like
seventh.
if we can
You
get
can do
fourth, I
eight.
think we can win it.
So you're going eight, Brent?
Man, this one is tough because I don't know that I the experts are wrong all the time. I mean, they make predictions, and RSL, the experts thinking RSL is going to be in 11th. I think it could be one of the seasons where they just kind of squeak into the playoffs again. But I don't think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be one. It's either going to be this thing just blows up and it's awful, or we're going to finish in between 4 and 7, somewhere in there. I think things are going to together, but I don't know which one it's going to be.
So your pick is
My pick is
long-winded.
it is because I want to talk
We
myself
need
into
a
being
number.
positive.
Numbers, Brant. Numbers.
Um, all right, I'll be bold. 10th. I'm gonna say 10th.
10th. Ooh.
That's awful. I
What
know.
in the negative space is that, dude?
Whoa.
We had probably the worst season of us doing this podcast, and we took what, ninth? And now you're like, ooh, I guess I'm gonna be optimistic here and say 10th. Yeah, those analysts don't know what they're talking about. Left is just stupid.
Well, it's the balance between guessing and trying to guess right. It's one thing to be positive. Hey, we're gonna be
Okay,
fifth place, but it's another thing to be practical and say, because yeah. And
not
I'll tell
practical.
you,
That's negative.
and I don't know. I don't think it's negative. It's just that looking at the team, because there are some things I really want to be wrong, but I wonder what's going to happen. I think we will know the first 15 games of the season. I think is a juggernaut, and it will be interesting to see how it goes. I really want to be wrong, but if we're looking back at the end of the season, if somebody's got to be right if they don't play well.
All
Wow.
right. Great.
You
Thanks for
know,
the insight.
you
Uh,
know, whenever we do the press of any kind, I'm going to specifically call you out and be like, "Hey,
That's not
person
fair.
who has just had a game, how would you rate this game you played? Do you think it's 10th place worthy, or do you think we'll
10th
do
place
in
material.
10th place?" And they're gonna be like, "Who ever think you would take 10th place?" And I'd be like, "Well, if you look to your right here, Brandt Goebel, he has a strong inkling in his tummy that 10th place is attainable."
Well,
We'll blame the MLS pundits.
and then, well, it goes along those lines. I thought about asking this question: will Pablo Mastroeni be the head coach at the end of the season
Ooh.
for Real Salt Lake? And if they're finishing 10th place, I don't think he is.
I agree.
I,
Well, let's say this. When would Pablo be fired? Do you think it's the beginning of the season at a certain point, middle of the season, or end?
I think it would be end. The Millers are just pretty consistent with their coaches, just by and large. And
Really?
I think they'd let him finish out the season.
Mm.
Unless he
I,
was doing something way messed
Right.
up that they totally didn't agree with.
I think it's the start of the season. I think Pablo, if RSL doesn't put things together, they've got the new system, they've got the new coaches, and it's all going to be on Pablo. They don't have the excuse of they brought in two coaches to be the tactical guys, right? This is going to be on Pablo. And the first 15 games, I think if it doesn't come together within the first 15 games and RSL has 2 or 3 victories in the first 15 games, which is, pretty bleak, but looking at the schedule, Vancouver, the Sounders, Atlanta, who's going to be better, Austin, who probably didn't get worse, and they're tough. San Diego may be a little worse, but they were really good. Sporting Kansas City is terrible. I mean, RSL might not have a chance for victory until the 5th game with Sporting KC. Another game against Seattle, San Diego again, Inter Miami. I don't know if you know this, but Lionel Messi is coming.
Oh,
They,
No,
yeah,
if Miami is coming, not like Messi is not coming.
yeah.
Something will go
potentially.
right.
He
Yeah.
Then
could
the
play.
Galaxy, who they are obviously going to be better. They picked up the cat from Joao Klaus from
Meow.
St. Louis, Portland, Dallas, Houston Dynamo, Colorado, Minnesota, Um, those are the games before the World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be 10-0, undefeated, still going on our undefeated streak, having no losses, maybe a tie or two in there.
So
I hear you.
so if they don't have 5 wins, if they're like, 4-2 and whatever, four wins, 2 draws, and the rest defeats, something along those lines, I think it could come apart pretty quick. The other
Think
thing,
think if that was the case, do you think Pablo would get let go before the break?
yeah, I
I say
think
the break on purpose because that's where we're going to be on Saturday.
the break. Yeah, I think I don't think there's going to be much room for error on this. I don't think you can have a horrible, horrible start and then have the time off. I think that would be the great best time if you wanted to bring in a new coach, like your general manager who did not hire Pablo Mastroeni wants to bring in his guy. That could be the argument. Say, hey, you know what? It's just not working. We gave him his coaches, and this is just terrible. We spent the money. They spent the money. They not only the money that they um, paid for the players, but the money they spent to get rid of the players. I mean, they bought out Diogo Gonzalez, and they have probably had to do some finagling to get Rowan Cruz. That was some effort. So yeah, I think if it all comes together, that's fantastic, and I'll eat my words, and they'll finish much higher. But I think we're overestimating the ability of the coaching staff, right? Because Pablo in his history, he's kind of he is who he is. His record is pretty 500. So I like I said, long winded. I think if he gets fired, it'll be before by the World Cup break, and if that doesn't happen, then I think he's here all season. What about you, Brennan?
I don't even remember what we were talking about, man. What were we talking about?
Will Pablo be the coach by the end of the season?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry. Um, Probably like what you said. That's pretty much it. I would think that I would say he's probably fired by World Cup. Like World Cup starts, they're looking for coach. Um, if we're doing okay, he stays. I don't know. I got a weird feeling that he might pull through and we might be somewhat successful before the World Cup break. And then it might unravel after or something like that. But yeah, I'm a Utah. I got so much hope. It's in my blood. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I must say I really hope I'm wrong on all this. I only want to see RSL win the major MLS Cup every season, right? So
Well, that's wishful thinking, and you've even said you don't like wishful thinking. So stop doing that.
that's what I want. So, all right. So will RSL lift the MLS Cup?
No, it's
Brent,
not our year.
No, pessimism says no, no chance. But hey, I would love to be wrong. I would also love to be a millionaire. But hey, you know, um, we got the ingredients for a beautiful cake. We got to figure out how much sugar, how much flour, how much butter, how many eggs. We can if we can use our ingredients the right way with the right amount, we could have a delicious cake by the end of the season. See what I did there? That was awesome. I just thought
I
of that.
love that.
it was beautiful. It was beautiful,
Yeah.
and
I think by
also
the end of the
I'm
season, we
hungry.
might be playing pretty well.
It's kind of like
I agree.
funfetti. It's so underrated. It's the unsung hero of cakes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
funfetti, absolutely.
funfetti. You only need one egg. Who does that? It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know that, or I don't think RSL wins the MLS Cup because I didn't predict
Oh,
them
because you're a
making the.
pessimist.
I
Oh, I
didn't
hate it so
predict them
much.
making the playoffs just in case. Um, one of us has got to be right. You guys can be the positive ones, and if it all goes to pot, then I'll be the one that takes all the credit. So
Okay,
There you
I
go.
got a new question then,
Sounds-
because we know you're going to say no. Tyler's going to probably say no. Um,
No,
yeah, see. Who is going to win the MLS Cup
Messi.
2026? No,
Messi.
he's already bought it. So who is going to win it?
Messi.
Oh, he's buying it again? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, Brandt, who do you think?
Oh, you know what? That is a great question. I think it's going to be somebody from the Eastern Conference or the Western Conference. I don't think it's going to be Messi again because, it's the World Cup. There'll be a lot of stress. They've already talking about him struggling with a hamstring injury a little bit. I would lean more towards somebody like LAFC or maybe a Cincinnati. I don't think it's gonna be Inter Miami, but I would lean towards LAFC um, as being that's really kind of obvious. But at the moment, I would lean towards LAFC because his son preseason he'll have some World Cup too, so kind of one of the main players, but not Inter Miami.
How about you, Bren?
For some reason, I'm thinking Texas. I feel like Austin might have one of those seasons where they are going to go somewhere. I feel like LAFC is going to be a top team again. They're going to be pretty stout. Sun isn't back though, right? They don't have Sun again.
Yeah.
Or they do have Sun?
Yep, son of Bawanga.
But
Bawanga turned down some money to go somewhere else, and you could say the same argument with Messi, with LAFC, with those guys playing in the World Cup. And but Mueller in Vancouver, we'll find out how good a team they are.
yeah. Well, I didn't know about that. I mean, I guess LAFC is going to do really well. Yeah, I'll go LAFC.
There we go.
And then I had one because this is I thought about this today. What's one word to describe the club right now? If you could describe RSL in one word, what would it be? And I'll tell you what mine is because this is what I was thinking about. And it's curious. I am very curious to see what this club does. You know, not being hopeful, not being negative. It's more like,
Just want to be
what,
surprised.
yeah, what is it going to do? What are they going to do? Are Olatunji, is everything going to come together or is it just going to be a disaster? Because I don't know which way it's going to go. And I'm really, really curious to see how it goes. What about you guys? Any thoughts on that? Or is that just a
Hmm.
question for me?
I think you answered it great.
Um, Sanjuin. Sanjuin. They're going to be Sanjuin.
Sanguine?
Sanguine.
Sanguine. Sanguine.
Sanguine,
Sanguine.
They're gonna
they're going
be
to be mellow.
penguins?
Okay.
Uh,
All right. So those are our predictions for the
Wait, what was
2026.
Tyler's? What was Tyler's word?
Oh yeah. What was your word?
uh,
He thought the question was dumb.
fair. Uh,
Fair. Like I'm just ready for bed, dude.
yeah, I'll go with potential.
Good word. Good word.
Ooh. Mm.
So yeah, those are our predictions. Whether you like them or not, we'd love to hear your predictions. And again, join us this Saturday. The season kicks off. The was a long postseason, but it got over pretty quick. So
It
join us
ends Saturday.
and Saturday. Join us at the break in Murray, 4760 South, 9th East. Come and win some prizes, and also hit the subscribe and like button and
What
comment.
time?
5:30. The game starts at 5:30. If you can be there at 5 or whenever, come and join us.
When are we going to be there?
5
Uh,
5.
or
Okay.
whenever you want. You get there at 3. I don't care.
No, I'll probably be there like
Whatever works for you.
around there.
But the game kicks off at 5:30.
Right on.
All right.
very
So
cool.
thanks for listening. We're excited. We're curious
I'm
about the
sanguine.
potential, sanguine and happy about how this season will go. So join us this season, the 5th season of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. We'll see you there.